Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of your 8th favorite YouTube channel with me at Bike Envy. Today, we've got the 2024 Triumph Street Triple R, and we're going to be talking about my BT Moto ECU tune that we just got installed on it. Pretty excited to talk about this because it is probably second or third favorite upgrade, easily, on this bike. So let's start off with just the little nuanced kind of things about this bike. And if you have a street triple, you'll be familiar with some of the weird sounds that happen when you first start it up. And I think this has mitigated some of them. So I'm going to shut up for a second, and you can listen to the bike idle just for a second. Okay, that was a couple seconds. And to me, it sounds much better. It sounds like it's richer in getting more fuel and is a very happy motorcycle. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of this little park where I like to do some of my intros because it is pretty quiet. Nobody really bothers you. So, to start off this saga adventure, um, the epic, we'll talk about my experience with BT Moto to start off with. So, I didn't send in my ECU with this bike. I got the handheld tuner, and you go through and you get your package, and it has all the things that you need to read your ECU and send your files in. Basically, you plug it up, you read your ECU, it pulls all the information that tuners need to go ahead and make your customized map, and you upload it, and then they send you something back in a couple weeks, and then you load that into your bike. So, long story short, I had a bunch of issues once I had gotten everything read and had uploaded my tune and was going to go install the tune into my bike. For whatever reason, the software wasn't connecting and wasn't recognizing the ECU. I worked with Steven at BT Moto, and he was incredibly helpful. Gave me step-by-step directions via email on how to resolve the issue, and I was riding the bike later on that day. So, quick little anecdote on how much support I feel you get with the BT Moto team. Very impressed with how quickly they were able to respond and resolve my issues. Can't recommend them enough for that alone. But we have more to talk about. We have the tune itself. So we already talked about how the fueling is, for me, evidently better the moment you start up the motorcycle. We're going to wait for this light to go green before we talk in depth about... We're just going to chill here for a second. This is why my videos end up being 10 minutes long, 20 minutes long, whatever, somewhere in there. So I've had this tune for about a week, and the things that have been most evident to me are, like I was talking about, the fueling. It feels so much smoother everywhere. It's more linear. It definitely has more power. And I think you feel that power a lot more in the torque curve, at least for me, because I haven't taken this to the track just yet, and I don't really rip on the street, but you feel it in the torque curve. As soon as you let the clutch out, the bike just pulls. So I can only assume that it's much happier. Outside of the obvious power gains that you get in all of the modes, by the way, I'm currently in road mode. With the Street Triple, you only have the 4 roads. You have rain, you have road, sport, and then rider. But I think those maps are a little bit more pronounced now after the tune. I've been enjoying road quite a bit lately. But I'm getting sidetracked. What I wanted to say is, outside of the obvious power gains that you get after installing your BT Moto tune in your Street Triple, is the engine brake management. So, Street Triple does not have, at least the R, I don't know about the RS, but this R doesn't have an engine brake management. But what I found is before the tune and after the tune are completely different when it comes to engine braking, and it is so much nicer. So we're 6,000 RPMs, we're just gonna let off the throttle. Probably shouldn't be doing this close to that car, but it's so much more smooth. And if you have a Street Triple with a stock tune, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's like, oh my god, if you're like kind of crash right up against the tank and you let off the gas and you're a male, you're gonna know that you just let off the gas. But with this, it's so smooth. It's so incredibly smooth. It just wants to... I think that whole time I lost like 10 miles an hour. Not that that's the metric on how engine brake works, but objectively, it's so much smoother. Which goes into a topic that I glossed over earlier, is everything about it is smoother. It pulls away from light smoother. The engine brake is so much smoother. And one of my favorite things, I think, is how smooth the quick shifter is. I already thought that Triumph has one of the best quick shifters, in my personal opinion. But up and down, it is just buttery smooth now. Okay, we're gonna shut up just so you can kind of hopefully hear some of what I'm talking about. Get around this corner. Okay, so we're fifth. Let off. So it's down. And it's just butter the whole time. Even sixth. So, again, this is a very specific thing, but if you have a Street Triple, I don't know what it is, maybe it's the R, maybe it's the RS, but once you go from 5th to 6th in the quick shifter, it was never ever smooth with the stock tune. But now that we have this BT Moto tune, oh, it's butter. It's mantequilla. So we'll be a little bit responsible. But another quick anecdote is I was up at Sheehaw Mountain not too long ago. I think it was last weekend, actually. And I did get to play with the raised rev ceiling. And I'm not going to lie to you, I don't remember the exact limit that they increased it by. I think it was about 1,000 RPMs. But up top, oh my goodness. It was power wheeling in third, and it's kind of strange the way that not strange, but noticeable how the bike behaves at a higher RPM. So previously, once you hit about 9.5, 10,000 RPMs with the stock tune, you could really feel the bike kind of fall on its face. And this one pulls all the way up until the red line, and it caught me off guard. I actually hit red line, which I don't like to do on the street or the track, but it was like, oh my god, there's still power to go. So I think that partially speaks to the mild state of tune that these Street Triples are in, and it definitely speaks to how well they did with this map. Let's see, is there anything else I want to talk about when it comes to the tune? Very happy with the interface that you get with the handheld module. It's super cool, and for me, I like to do a lot of my own work on my motorcycles, and taking any bike to a dealership to go get like an oil change because your service has come due is kind of a big pain in the butt for me, especially because the closest Triumph dealer is about an hour away. And one of the cool things about the handheld is you're able to reset your codes and some of your service stuff. So super happy about that. You're also able to switch your map back to stock. This is something I didn't realize dealerships did until I went through the whole BT Moto tuning process. But when you take your motorcycle into the dealership, generally they read your ECU, and if you have a tune on and they do an update, then your tune doesn't work, from my understanding. So you can really easily switch it back. It doesn't take long at all to rewrite the software. And just another pleasantry from me to BT Moto. So that's pretty much, I think, all I wanted to talk about. I'm going to go through one more set of roads and turns and see if anything else pops into mind. Oh guys, check this out. This is so much fun. There's a jump. Holy shit. Here we go with the buttery smooth engine brake. It's so good. Traffic. Well, that might be the end of our fun on this road. But to summarize, again, I couldn't be happier with my tune and the handheld. I think it's well worth the money, and I don't regret a singular penny that I spent on it. Very good job from the BT Moto team. Thank you to Steven for all your support with getting my issues resolved. And that is me signing off and finishing the video. Thanks for watching, guys.